Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan Rice. I'm the 4-H educator out of Scottsbluff, Kimball, and Banner counties. And today I'm going to be hopefully walking through a good tutorial guide on how to get started with Spike robots. And so to kick it off, I'm going to first showcase just how to even find the app. So in the App Store, if you're not sure what app to even download, all you have to do is type in Spike. And it's this first app here. You can see that I already have it installed. And I'll also showcase how to find it on a computer, just in case the kiddos need help doing that. So if you type in Spike, it's that first main app. There are two apps. There's a Spike Legacy, which is an older version, and the app that you should be using is this Spike app. If I click on it, it'll open up. I get a big screen here. And this is hopefully what you'll see. And so we are not doing Spike Essential. We'll be doing Spike Prime for this. So we'll click on that. And then we're entered into this new project. If you don't have any projects currently on your screen, that'll probably be typical, especially the first time you load in. And so you won't have all this right here. For you, you'll just click on New Project. We can give it a name. So I could give it my name or my team name. Like I am the Moral Lions, my home alma mater high school. I can click on, we don't want icon blocks, we don't want Python, we want the middle one, word blocks, and click create. And so you can see here, the title is right here. Let's say that I don't want that title after all. Like, oh man, I'm not the Moral Lions today. I'm actually want this to be called Mission 1. Save that and I'll rename it for me. So this is our screen. If you look over here to the left, we have a bunch of different robot blocks that we can use. I'll step through those kind of basically. So the blue ones is a single motor. So if you're going to have a single motor rotate, you'll use the blue ones. This is mainly used for attachments later. The main blocks that we will use, especially as you're first learning, are these movement blocks. So the pink section, these allow you to go straight, to turn, to stop moving, and to set some of the basic blocks for movement. Kids love the purple section. It lets you put all different types of flashing lights and stuff onto your robot. Not very critical as far as getting it to drive and all that, but still super fun. Same with the sound. You can make it play sounds. You can have piano going, animal noises, all that's happening. Events are kind of how you kick off or change the code. So different ways that you can start a program. Whenever you open a new project, it'll always start out with this when program starts. And so when you click play, it'll run. But you can also play your codes when you receive messages or when something happens or when a timer comes. So there's a lot of different ways that you can start a code. But the most basic that we'll start with is just when you click play. Control, as you get later on and you want to get more advanced in your programming, you'll use a lot of these blocks. They let you do loops, timers, and most of your sensors will use this wait until to activate. Speaking of sensors, this blue tab is your light blue tab is your sensor location. So we have color sensor blocks, we have force sensor blocks, ultrasonic sensors, and then some of these down here are for your gyro sensor. And so later this year, in this tutorial guide, I'll probably give some examples of how to use sensors, but we won't be getting in that today at all. We have our math operators in the green section, mostly used in our sensor category. And then if you get super advanced, you can create your own variables, create your own blocks for that will fit your needs or fit your needs. And then the very, very bottom is you can actually add in additional blocks that you don't currently have. So I could add in more movement blocks and then give you 3 other additional blocks that aren't in the base setup. So with that brief tutorial, what's out there, let's start with just figuring out the basic things that every code needs to have. And so when you look at your robot here, this block right here is the brain. So you can imagine that all of the thoughts, the ideas, the thinking that happens in your robot goes through this brain right here. So we attach other things to it, just like we have arms attached to our bodies. We're going to be attaching motors. We'll be attaching sensors to this robot, and then the brain will control how those work. These cords that you can see attached on here. So I can pull out a cord. This is what connects those things that we add to our brain. So if it's connected to one of our ports, then our brain can actually understand how it works and how to control it. So before we can even get started, the first thing that we have to set up is what our legs are. So as a general rule, the robot doesn't know what your legs actually are, which wheels and which motors are your movement motors. And so the easiest way to figure that out is to connect your robot, and it has a lot of helps for it. So first thing we're going to do to power on our robot, get this so you can see it, we're going to click this center button until it lights up, and it'll make a noise, it'll blink a couple times, and you'll see the basic image show up. From there, we need to connect via Bluetooth. And there's a tiny little circle up here. We're going to click it until it starts searching. And you can see mine is blinking blue. Then I go up to my computer and I click connect. And then ask, what color is your light down here? Whoop, see if I can get my camera to showcase it. And it's hard to see on this in the video, but my color is green. So I will select green. And then if you look here, I have this gummy robot that pops up as an option. I click connect, and hopefully, voila, we see a green check mark saying that that is good, and we see what is connected to our robot. And this is what really is going to help us. So right now, I have three things connected, three cords into my ports here, and it's saying that in my B port, I have this little circle. That means a motor. In my D port, I have these two little eyes looking at me. That's an ultrasonic sensor. And then another circle in my E port, which is a motor. So I first need to set my movement motors, and it's this block right here. I'm going to plop it on there, and then I need to match these to be what my movement motors are here. And so I know that my movement motors are B and E. Those are the only two motors I have connected, so I can leave it like that. If I moved around my cords, and let's say I shifted this one over into the C port, it should update. Now it says B and C up here, and all I'd have to do is select B, and then C. Oh, B and C. So just one tip, if you're driving your robot and you tell it to turn to the left and it turns to the right, so opposite the way that your brain would think, that just means that you need to flip these around. And maybe instead of being B plus C, it needs to be C plus B. And so if it's turning the opposite way you think it should turn, just switch these two around and that will fix it for you. So I'm going to move this back to E because I don't want to mess with my robotics team's programs later. They'll be like, why is it working? And then I'm going to change this back to B and E. So if you want your robot to drive straight, you must have every code must set the movement motors. It'll be the first or second block you do every single time. The other thing you can set is how fast you want your motors to start out at. They can go all the way from 0 to 100. So I'm going to start mine out at a solid 60%, but you can be whatever you want. The slower your speed, the more consistent your robot will be, but the slower it will drive, okay? All right, so everyone should be adding this. If you have a computer handy and you're programming along with me, you can set those out there, set your movement motors, add your movement speed on there. And next, we're gonna look at what it takes to drive. So there are several blocks, and we're just going to drive straight. So what blocks out there allow us to drive straight? And I'll pull a few of them out here. There are a lot, and I'll kind of arrange them here for us. And then I'll even grab the more movement one that we use sometimes later, okay? So whenever we look at a movement block, in anything in programming, it's always stepwise. So the first thing the robot's going to do is says when program starts, and you click play. That'll be the first block it reads. And then it has to run this one, set movement motors B and E, set movement speed, and then everything that we add on there that connects, it must finish that block to go on to the next one. And so when we look at these codes, they're going to read exactly this way. So it'll say move, arrow forward. We can also change that arrow to be backwards. But if I wanted to drive forward, I could set it like that. For a certain number of, and then these are our options. We could say a certain number of rotations, degrees, seconds, centimeters, or inches. And so typically, just to give some brief overview of what some of these mean, Rotations means one wheel rotation. So if I have my robot here and I mark my wheel and I start turning it and follow as it goes all the way around, once it goes all the way around in one circle, that is one rotation. And so you can actually figure out how far that is. You could take the diameter of your wheel or the circumference of your wheel, and that would be how far it moves. You can put tape around your wheel and then spread it out flat and measure it. Or you could just make it one rotation, click run, and see how far it travels and measure that distance. Your other options you have are degrees. This actually deals with a circle. So a lot of you probably have heard like of a 360 dunk. That means turning in one full circle. So one circle is 360 degrees. A half a circle is 180 degrees. And so if you say move for 180 degrees, that is going to turn your wheel one half of a rotation. It doesn't necessarily mean that your robot's going to turn 180 degrees. It just means the wheel is going to turn that. I typically will only use degrees if I'm going to do really small movements, because it's to do like 2 rotations of your tire. That would be 720 degrees. So the number gets big really fast. If I'm going to travel long distances, I'll either use rotations, and 10 rotations will go quite a ways, or I might use the inches. And inches is just what you can imagine. It's an estimate of, so if I want to travel 1 foot, I could put in 12 inches. It won't be perfect. If you take a ruler out, maybe it travels 11 inches, maybe it travels 13 inches, and that will depend on how good your robot's calibrated, the wheel size. And so you might put in the exact amount and it should get close, but it won't be exact, okay? So this is one block that would allow you to move straight. A second type of block that would allow you to do the same thing, if I wanted to move 12 inches straight, this little circle tells you which direction you're going, so you can turn to the right, you can turn to the left, or if you put it at 0, you can go straight as well. And this one doesn't have inches in it. So typically you're going to be using rotations. You might say, go forward, 2 rotations. Both of these 2 blocks would allow you to move straight. And they actually tell you a certain distance. These 3 blocks would let you move straight. However, they don't tell you how far to move straight. So this one just says start moving, never tells you how far. This one just says start moving, and you can either make it turn, left, right, or straight. And this one controls your 2 wheels. So if your 2 wheels are the same, it'll make it go straight. Because they don't tell you how far to go, if I just slapped this on here and clicked play, my robot would set the movement motors, set the speed. It would go straight 2 rotations, go straight 12 inches, and then it would start moving straight forever, because we never tell it when to stop. And so as you're first learning and you're starting to just drive around and move your robot, you're probably going to use these 2, okay? As we get into using controls and sensors and some of these other blocks, then you'll start using these 3 that just say start moving in a direction and wait until your sensor tells you something. But for now, get rid of these. We don't want them in our lives. We'll be using these 2, okay? So your first challenge that I would like you to start with is see if you can, I want you to mark a starting line with some tape, and then mark a finish line with some tape that are straight in a line. And your goal is to see, can you get your robot to travel and stop exactly on that finish line? So you're going to start at the starting line and see if you can finish exactly on that finish line. How you download a code. So for example, if I wanted to travel, my code is travel 8 rotations forward and then stop moving. How do I actually connect that to my robot? Well, first, you need to make sure that it's connected up here. So as long as you have your check mark, you are good. And then you can come down here. This little arrow allows you to choose which number you want to save your code to. For example, if I have other programs on those first couple, maybe I want to actually save it to 6, okay? And then I click this little arrow down, and that downloads it to my robot. So then to find that, I just click my arrows here until it shows the 6. And then if I click play, my robot is going to do that code. And currently, mine is going to drive straight forever. Or actually, it's going to drive straight for 8 I took those off. It'll drive straight for 8 rotations, and then it'll stop moving. So with that, I would like you guys to try and see if you can set up just 2 pieces of tape and see if you can get your robot to drive straight and stop directly on the second piece of tape. And once everyone's kind of figured out how to drive straight, we will come back and look at turning. All right, hopefully everyone had a chance to get the robot to drive. Reminder, you need to make sure that you have your movement motors set to the motors that you had. You can set your speed. We should be using one of these 2 blocks right here to move straight. You'll have to probably estimate on the distance. So for example, if my 2 lines were roughly 10 rotations apart, and I clicked play here or downloaded it, either one works. My robot would travel 10 rotations and stop, and maybe that'll be exactly on that line. Next up, we're going to look a little bit at turning, okay? So the main blocks that we can use for turning is this one right here and this one. So same as the move straight, this one only says start turning. You can either turn to the right, move straight, or you turn to the left, but it doesn't tell you how far to turn. So if I threw this on here in this code exactly, my robot, I can even showcase this. We'll just start turning. This wheel's moving fast, this wheel's barely moving, so it's going to turn in this circle. Okay? Now I have to eventually click stop. What we will use more often will be this block right here. And so I can either say turn to the right fully or turn to the left fully, and then I can tell it how much to turn. So I can say 1 rotation, 0.5 rotations. And so for you guys, what I'm hoping that you guys can try is this little challenge right here. So we're going to set out a nice box out in the middle of your room. You're going to have a start line roughly 3 feet from that box. And you want your robot to travel 3 feet forward, go around the blocks, turn to the right, go forward again, turn to the right again, and go forward back to the finish line. And so your challenge is to see who can get around this box the quickest. So who's the first team that actually will make it past, over, and back down. So what you might look like is you'll have to think we need a block that first will drive straight. So it's going to be using what you guys just tried. And then we need that turning block. And so a right turn would look something like this. You can adjust it to be 60 all the way to 100. All of those will turn for you. And you're probably going to want to be somewhere between 0.3 and 1 rotations. I'm not going to give you exact numbers, and it'll depend on the kind of the floor that you have as well. But this would be a right turn for you. And so just those first 2 steps in the line might look something like this. Move straight, robot, then turn to the right, and I'll let you figure out the rest. But these 2 things, driving straight and turning, will let you do a ton with your robot. You can make it move all the way around the room. You can go through mazes, and it'll be the stepping stones that we're going to use to actually get into the first leg room. I hope this tutorial helped you. In it, we covered how to turn on your robot, how to actually create your own file or project. If you want to make a second file, all you have to do is click on project. Say this one is mission 2. And then you can see here that we'll have them both sitting up here. We'll have mission 1 and mission 2. Once again, if you want your robot to drive, you must set your movement motors. You can set your speed if you want it to actually show how fast your robot will be going, and then some basic blocks that will allow you to move straight and turn. With that, I will see you next time.